Level 154, the Lazer game. Survival difficulty. Class 5. Unsafe, unsecure, low entity count. No image caption available. Description. Image caption. A circle door. Level 154 is an incredibly dangerous and potentially fatal level of the Backrooms that acts as the location for the mysterious, quote-unquote, Lazer game. It takes the appearance of a seemingly infinite labyrinth of identical black-painted stone walls with dim, colored lighting emitting from overhead bulbs. The main feature of this level is the existence of several wide open rooms behind doors with colored symbols painted on their exteriors. These wide open rooms are where the Lazer game is played. This level can be separated into two distinct sections, the corridors and the Lazer rooms. The corridors consist of stone hallways that twist and turn in endless directions like a giant maze. Each hallway is empty and devoid of any entities or furniture, though random particles of dust, granules of wood, and broken glass can be found on the floor. The overall temperature in the hallways is a humid lukewarm, with temperatures slightly rising the closer one gets to a Lazer room. One can use this difference to help locate a symbol door. The walls, floors, and ceilings are all black, which makes it rather difficult to navigate and see in. Exploring this level without any artificial light source, such as a flashlight, phone, or match, is highly unadvised. Due to the labyrinthian nature of these hallways, it is also advised to carry a large quantity of powder, breadcrumbs, or something else of the sort, so that a trail can be created to mark where one has been in order to not become lost in the corridors. Upon entering level 154, the highest priority should be to seek out one of the doors with symbols. The only known way to escape level 154 is through one of these doors. They occur semi-frequently, but are still rather rare. Due to there being no food or water in the corridors of level 154, it is important to seek out a door as soon as possible to avoid dying of starvation or thirst. If one makes haste, they should be able to find at least one before succumbing. However, while each door has an exit, the steps needed to reach that exit differ per door, so wanderers are advised to search for the door that best suits their skills, even if that requires skipping another symbol door. Image caption. Two wanderers attempt the Lazer game in the line room. Behind each door is the Lazer game, in which there will be a wide open room and a pedestal in the center. On top of the pedestal is a pendant, made in the shape of the symbol on whatever door is entered. The orientations and natures vary depending on the door, but there will always be several red lasers strewn throughout the room, blocking wanderers from reaching the pendant. The goal of the Lazer game is to reach the pendant and remove it from the pedestal without being touched by the lasers. Touching a laser has varying effects, but they are capable of causing up to 4th-degree burns. Touching a laser with a body part causes skin to disintegrate and can also damage muscle and nerve tissue in mere seconds of exposure. If one can reach the pendant without being killed by a laser, it is still possible after being hit, as long as one is able to move, then the game is considered won, and the wanderer who touches the pendant will be transported out. The pendant will then immediately be replaced with an identical replica on the pedestal back in the level. The Line Room. No image caption available. The line room can be found behind doors with a light blue, large vertical line painted on them. This room contains lasers that are static and never move. The lasers here will seriously damage anyone who touches them, causing 3rd to 4th degree burns almost immediately upon contact. The line room also contains a large timer in each instance of it. The timer hangs suspended on the far wall, just behind the pedestal and the pendant, displaying the number of seconds left. It starts at 60 seconds and starts counting down immediately once one enters the line room. This signifies the start of the game. During the game's duration, the door to the line room will automatically lock. If one fails to reach the pedestal and secure the pendant before time runs out, the pedestal and pendant will retract into the floor through an unknown mechanism. The lasers will deactivate, and the game will be considered lost, upon which the door will automatically unlock. After a game is lost, wanderers will need to find a different door in order to retrieve another chance to escape level 154. Because of this, a certain percentage of the line rooms are actually empty due to previous failed attempts. If one finds an empty line room, they are free to exit as the game will not start. It is not advised to actively seek out a line room due to the large chance of it being a dead end. The game is won when a wanderer reaches the pedestal containing the pendant and takes it off of the pedestal. The line room is the simplest of the rooms and is considered to be one of the easiest. There are no other special gimmicks or unexpected twists to look out for, so if one finds a functional line room, it is usually a safe bet to attempt it. The Circle Room. No image caption available. The Circle Room can be found behind doors with a yellow circle painted on them. Just like the line room, the door will slam shut and lock once the game begins, trapping the wanderer inside until the game is won or lost. Just like the line room, the game is won by reaching the pedestal containing the ending pendant and taking it off the pedestal. Unlike the line room, however, the Circle Room's lasers are always in motion, albeit slowly, and there is no timer. Instead, wanderers will have unlimited time to complete the Circle Room. The Circle Room is also one of the smaller rooms, and thus, the amount of lasers that one needs to avoid to reach the ending pendant is lower. One of the key features of the Circle Room that makes it a viable version of the laser game to attempt is that the lasers in the Circle Room are the weakest in the entire level. Coming into brief contact with a laser in the Circle Room will typically result in 2nd to 3rd degree burns, instead of the usual 4th or 5th. It is entirely possible to accidentally touch a laser in the Circle Room and still escape without permanent tissue damage. It is recommended, for this reason, that those who do not feel confident in their abilities attempt the Circle Room instead of the other, more specialized rooms. Because of the weakness of the lasers, it is also possible to block some of them with non-reflective material. If one has any thick, solid object, such as a chair or a stool, then they can block the lasers without it piercing through. This strategy is not reliable in the other rooms because the potency of those lasers is enough to occasionally pierce through even solid, hard objects such as these. If wanderers have access to any such object, their best bet would be to seek out the Circle Room. The Triangle Room. No image caption available. The Triangle Room is located behind doors with a red triangle painted on them. Despite being the smallest of the rooms, the Triangle Room is also one of the most dangerous. The lasers here are extremely intense and are capable of causing severe nerve and muscle damage with even the slightest contact. That being said, the orientation of the Triangle Room is unique, and with the necessary precautions and preparations, the Triangle Room can also be the easiest room for some to complete. Instead of requiring physical agility to traverse a room full of lasers, the Triangle Room is comprised of a single puzzle. There are 7 immovable triangular prisms placed in random locations throughout the room, and 1 laser originating from the wall left of the entrance. Each triangular prism is identical in size, 4 feet tall and 1 foot wide. At the corner of the room are 3 mirrors. Located in the center of the room is the triangular pendant, sealed by a transparent casing. The only known way to remove this casing is by orienting the mirrors so that the laser gets redirected through all 7 prisms, which activates them, upon which the casing will be lifted until the pendant is taken. Once wanderers enter the triangle room, they will be unable to leave until the puzzle is solved. The doors will immediately lock. The triangle room should only be attempted by those who are confident in their problem-solving abilities. In addition, while this hasn't been confirmed, the randomness of the locations of the 7 prisms could, theoretically, mean that some of the triangle rooms are impossible to complete, and are therefore death traps. Because of this possibility, the triangle room is not recommended to attempt. The square room. No image caption available. Wanderers can enter the square room through the doors with green squares on them. Based on the description of the square room alone, it would normally seem impossible to escape from. But there are several reports of wanderers who happened upon the square room being able to complete it. The methods in which these wanderers escaped still remain unknown, as they have all infallibly refused to disclose them. Perhaps entering the square room without knowing how to escape from it is actually the key to completing it. Though there have been many successful attempts, it is still recommended wanderers stay away from it in the interests of safety. The layout of the square room is always the same. The area of the room is always an exact square, and the square pendant is located behind a solid wall of lasers that stretch from the floor to the ceiling. The gaps between the lasers are too thin for any human being to possibly fit through without suffering serious harm. At first glance, the square room seems impossible. In addition, the door will lock upon entering the square room, so exiting is not an option. But it seems there is more to this challenge that allows participants to successfully complete it. But, as of right now, we have no information as to what that might be. The Pentagon Room. No image caption available. The Pentagon Room can be found behind doors with a pink pentagon symbol on their exterior. This room is by far the simplest of the rooms, but can be extremely difficult or extremely easy depending on the wanderer. The Pentagon Room is also the largest room and is presumed to be several meters long, perhaps over 100. Immediately upon entering the Pentagon Room, it is imperative that wanderers start sprinting. To beat the Pentagon Room, one must start sprinting from the starting end of the room to the far end and grab the pendant as soon as possible. Against the wall of the entrance is an automatic contraption comprised of 2 thin platforms attached to cables across the ceiling and floor of the room. Upon entering the room, the contraption will activate and generate a wall of lasers stretching from the top platform to the bottom platform, and will then proceed to move forwards towards the far end of the room. If a wanderer is not fast enough, then the lasers will catch up to them and likely severely injure or kill them. The Pentagon Room is a simple test of physical ability. If one considers themselves a fast runner, the Pentagon Room is a surefire way of escaping. For wanderers who are not fast runners, the Pentagon Room could mean certain death. Entrances and exits. No image caption available. Entrances. Level 154 can only be entered from Level 1, Habitable Zone. To find the entrance, look for multicolored fluorescent lights in the colors light blue, yellow, red, green, or pink. Following these lights through corridors will eventually lead you to doors with symbols on them, identical to the doors located in Level 154 itself. Entering any one of them will transport wanderers to the corridor section of Level 154. Exits. Level 154 can only be exited via touching and taking a pendant in any one of the 5 room variations. Doing so will bring wanderers back to Level 1, in front of the door corresponding to the room they exited. Each wanderer who exits level 154 will be able to keep the pendant that they took. There are no observable magical properties, but many have decided to wear them as a sort of trophy.